Hi there, and welcome back. So today we're going to talk about the obstacles from the book, How to Be the Captain of Your Ship. We're going to read over this chapter and then kind of have a discussion about some of the ideas and thoughts that are in there. So the obstacles that we have had in our lives have molded us into the people that we have become, like clay on a potter's wheel, spinning around and being shaped. Our obstacles have controlled us and held power over us even when we haven't noticed. They are seen as negative thoughts, negative emotions, or limiting beliefs. There is a reason why we have these experiences. Everything happens for a reason. Most of the time, we are being challenged. We keep our blinders on. We don't see the reason. We only feel the negativity that comes from the challenge. Because of this limited viewpoint, we don't take the time to learn or to think about why the obstacle is there. And think about your life and as you're going through your day. And so many of the times when we are challenged with obstacles, we get so fixated on the obstacle or the challenge that's being presented that we don't ever stop and think about why it's actually there and what it is that we actually need to do. We don't see the challenge for what it actually is, which is a chance to learn and to grow and to be able to move you into a direction that best aligns you for everything that's going to be coming your way, the opportunities that we talk about. And so every day we are faced with obstacles. Some of these are just challenges for the moment. Others are challenges that we have been carrying with us for years, from the simplest problems to some that feel like they're insurmountable. We allow these to stop us from reaching our fullest potential. Obstacles can cause stress and anxiety that can paralyze us, leave us frustrated and filled with anger. All of these emotions we feel create physical and chemical reactions in our bodies and minds. They change the way that we interact with the world and the people around us. Most of us allow these events and feelings to become stones or roadblocks in our lives, trapping us in the prisoner mentality. We believe that there is nothing that we can do to change our thoughts and the things that are happening to us. All of this is just a false narrative. It is a false belief. We use the negative emotions created by the obstacles as the reasons why we haven't reached the peak of the mountain that we want to climb. We use them as justification for the lack of achievement and success that we have dreamed of for ourselves. These thoughts that we believe become excuses for the reasons why we behave and treat others the way we do. They are excuses for why we can't overcome any of the challenges that we feel are too great for us to conquer. So many times in your life, because of the ego, you get trapped into these thoughts when you see these obstacles and the challenges, and you don't want to be truthful about these things. And so you behave in such a manner as to where you end up saying things like, well, that's just the way I am. Or, if they don't like it, they can. And all of that is just an excuse. It's an excuse that you are using because of you being afraid to actually be able to take on that obstacle, the challenge that's being presented to you. You're afraid that you're going to fail. And so therefore, without ever trying, you're just using that as an excuse. And the biggest obstacle that you face in your life is yourself. It's the thoughts that you are having that you are not being able to fully understand or to express. And so therefore, you allow this to trap you into these kinds of behaviors, which then pushes people away. And it stops you from ever living to your fullest potential. The obstacles in our lives shape how we feel about ourselves. They are tied to the ego and self-worth. They help reinforce the irrational thoughts that circle around in our minds. They make us believe in the truth that was being sold to us by others who have struggled with the same problems and issues. You aren't good enough. You aren't special enough. You aren't strong enough. You're just not enough. These obstacles become the stones and bricks that build your very own prison. Some of us build the walls high and thick, while others leave a door for someone to walk through. We surround ourselves with others who feel and act the same way. Misery loves company. We've all heard that phrase before, but it is not the best way to live your life. Yet we find ourselves stuck in patterns. We live most of our lives on autopilot. The repetition of this kind of action is part of the problem. It is easier for us to see it when it's happening to someone else, but it's really hard to recognize it when it's you that's the one that's doing it. We allow these struggles to continue rather than change. Most of us say, I don't know how to change, and even if I do, we still find ourselves right back into the circular patterns. It is like an addiction we can't seem to break free from, and our own lives, and it keeps us trapped. See, the reason why you're not being as successful as you wish is because of these obstacles and the behaviors that you have because of them. And this is one of the things as we keep going through all of this stuff that we're going to work on and that we're going to change. It took a long time for me to be able to get past a lot of these obstacles. So don't expect that any of this is going to just happen overnight. Thing is that you might actually be able to start overcoming some of these obstacles, but like I wrote there, you'll end up finding yourself falling right back into that same autopilot program that you're used to running, and that's all right. So when you do that, don't get mad at yourself. Just understand that you need to work at that a little bit harder. You've got a lot of time that you've got to break. These autopilot programs that you've been running your whole life on. So don't expect that it's just going to magically just disappear, because it won't. So don't ever set yourself up for failure, because we're going to succeed. That's what all of this is about. That's why this program is called We Help. We're going to help each other. I've already done most of this work myself and understand all of this, and that's why I'm going to be here to help you, guide you through all of these changes and all of these new thoughts. So there is a reason for all of this. There is a way out of these irrational thoughts and limiting beliefs. It is all about understanding why they exist, how these thoughts and feelings came to be in us like a virus, the true purpose behind them, and how to make the shift and how to keep the shift in place. At times we experience struggles that we allow to stop us. They take control over us because the challenges seem too big and that we lack the ability to see a clear way out. We all feel the same things and want the same things. We are no different from anyone else. We are all connected to the forces of life and the universe. Everything that you are today is just a manifestation of what you were yesterday, and that can be changed by your actions today. That is so true. Today is only a reflection of yesterday. So if you change something today, when you hit tomorrow, tomorrow is going to be a reflection of those changes that you made today and that you're going to carry with you. Keep that in mind. You will see results. The problem's going to be about being able to keep those results, but that comes in time and that comes in practice. Remember the autopilot. There's always more than one way or one side when you're looking at the events in your life. The truth is, obstacles are really growing and learning tools for you to use. They are placed there to challenge your unaligned thoughts and actions. Stop and think about that. They are placed there to challenge your unaligned thoughts and actions. Life is simple. And this is one of the things we're always going to keep repeating. This is how simple all of this gets, down to the nuts and bolts. Your actions have to equal your desires. And this is where most people have problems. You may have desires to do something, but you're not taking the right course of actions in order to be able to achieve that. And so therefore you are living a life that is out of balance. And what we need to get you to is being in balance. Your actions have to equal your desires, and your desires have to be taken with actions that align with them. They are placed there to challenge your unaligned thoughts and actions. Every obstacle that you encounter is a growing and learning tool. It is not an obstacle. The obstacle is the tool for you to use to be able to make these shifts and to make these changes. At this very moment, in this day, everything you think and you know can be shifted. You can be someone better right now. I would say that you already are. You're watching this video. You're interested in this subject. You're interested in making changes. Those are the very first steps you need to make. Those are your desires. Your desires to move forward or to find a better path, to help you find that balance. You're only here because you know deep down that you feel something isn't right, that there is not a balance in between your desires and your actions. And you're searching for answers. And that's what we're here for. We are here to help. It's just that simple. Just by your willingness to be here. It's only as hard as you make it, and will continue to allow it to be. So let's walk this path. Let's make these shifts and changes, and let's be the best captains of our ships. It's just easy. Life is simple. Every bit of this is not difficult. The only difficulty is in not falling back into that autopilot, and that's just practice. So this is what my challenge is for you for this next week. I want you to take a moment and I want you to make a list. I want you to make a list of all the obstacles that you have in your life. Which ones of these obstacles have the most control over you? Why are you still allowing these obstacles to exist in your life? And how have you allowed these obstacles to stop you? I want you to make this list. This list is for you. We talked a lot about lists in previous episodes. And here we are again, right back to making a list. That list is going to help be your map, because those are going to be your truth. Those are going to be your answers. That is your guide. And so until next time, take care.